Okay, let's jump right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're taking a really hard, data-driven look at the global hospitality industry. We're digging into a massive 2026 intelligence report, and honestly, we are looking at a highly constrained environment right now. So we're going to break down exactly what's happening behind the scenes, why the old traditional models are completely failing, and what operators absolutely need to do to just survive.
So right off the bat, we hit this crazy paradox for 2026. Travel demand is incredibly robust, and top-line revenues, they're projected to hit record highs. Now, you'd probably think this means a totally golden age for hotel operators, right? But the reality is that actually delivering the product is just crushing profit margins. Hoteliers are facing this brutal convergence of relentless cost inflation, chronic staff shortages, and some massive technological upheaval.
To put this into perspective, despite charging absolute premium rates, gross operating profit per available room, or GOPPAR for short, is stuck at roughly 90% of 2019 levels. And that's all due to massive economic margin compression. Costs for energy, insurance, and basically all supplies are severely squeezing those margins. So those higher room rates, they are simply not translating into a higher bottom line profits because the cost to just keep the lights on has completely skyrocketed.
To make sense of all this, we'll follow a clear agenda today. We'll cover the 2026 profitability paradox, severe structural headwinds, the broken guest experience, the strategic survival playbook, and wrap up with quick wins for navigating 2026.
All right, let's get into Section 1, the 2026 profitability paradox, shifting from demand generation to operational survival.
For decades, the name of the game in hospitality was just getting heads in beds. But today, the challenge isn't generating demand anymore, it's delivering the actual product profitably. Hoteliers have got to fundamentally shift their mindset. Moving away from standard revenue management, the absolute #1 priority has to be aggressive operational efficiency and tech-enabled service delivery, literally just to protect the margins they have left.
Moving on to Section 2, severe structural headwinds, covering chronic deficits and a shifting tech landscape.
By far, the biggest hurdle right now is a massive 18% labor shortfall. The intelligence report actually rates this as a 10 out of 10 impact on the business. And this deficit is compounded by grueling annualized turnover rates that are just hovering between 70 and 80%. On top of that, toughening labor compliance standards and minimum wage hikes are disproportionately driving up baseline labor costs for a sector that relies so heavily on hourly workers.
Now, adding fuel to this labor crisis is what the report calls the AI infrastructure gap, which comes in as an 8 out of 10 impact. We're seeing this massive, rapid shift toward artificial intelligence. Hotels still relying on fragmented, legacy tech stacks, disconnected property management, points of sale, and housekeeping systems are at a huge structural disadvantage. It's like trying to navigate with a paper map while your competitors are using real-time GPS. These disconnected systems create serious operational blind spots and make accurate labor and pricing forecasts basically impossible.
And these challenges, they're compounded by a perfect storm of micro and macro trends. We've got stricter ESG reporting mandates forcing unexpected capital expenses. Global instability is still disrupting supply chains for furniture, fixtures, and food. Plus, steady corporate travel is being replaced by highly volatile event-driven demand. Think huge influxes from mega events like World Cup prep. Oh, and short-term rentals are seriously converging on the market, capturing those price-sensitive leisure travelers and forcing hotels to fiercely justify their value.
Let's look at Section 3, the broken guest experience, and what happens when internal failures destroy guest value.
If you follow a guest through their actual journey, you see exactly where these operational failures completely torch future revenue. 7 days out, guests are super price sensitive and heavily scrutinizing reviews. A shaky online reputation instantly kills high-value bookings. At 48 hours out, bad tech prevents hotels from sending personalized upsell offers. Then, at minute 1 of arrival, get this, a staggering 26% of hotels are struggling to even staff their lobbies, creating massive check-in lines. At 24 hours, in-stay delays frustrate the guest, and by 72 hours at departure, all that unresolved friction turns into demands for refunds and scathing reviews.
The reality is, because guests are feeling the pinch of inflation but are still paying premium hotel rates, they are demanding a real experience premium. They have absolutely zero tolerance for understaffed service failures. Over 70% of travelers use social media to make travel decisions now, and 58% are deliberately opting for superior or luxury rooms. Generic service is out. Hyper-personalization at scale is entirely in. They expect absolute perfection, and they want total control over their journey, heavily preferring mobile-first interactions over standing at a traditional front desk.
But here's the kicker. It is nearly impossible to meet those sky-high expectations right now. As it stands, 42% of housekeeping roles are completely vacant. On top of that, there is a 39% vacancy rate in culinary roles. While food and beverage has become the primary way brands differentiate themselves, properties literally cannot staff them. This leads directly to closed outlets and delayed room cleanings. It's a real mess.
So how do we fix it? That brings us to Section 4, the Strategic Survival Playbook, and how Smart Capital is pivoting operations.
First things first, we absolutely have to redesign the labor and compensation model. We need to move way beyond just throwing basic wage increases at the problem. By taking 4 exact steps, implementing flexible scheduling, building transparent career paths, launching aggressive cross-training programs, and utilizing volume-based labor forecasting, management can finally align their staffing perfectly with demand peaks, which significantly boost retention.
Next up, properties have to audit and consolidate their tech stack. It is time to completely abandon those disconnected legacy systems that do nothing but create duplicate work in operational blind spots. Smart Capital right now is pivoting heavily toward operational technology, investing in unified, cloud-based property management ecosystems. Getting your PMS, POS, and staff communications into one single ecosystem is what gives you the real-time data that is absolutely required for agile decision-making.
The ultimate goal of all this tech? Automate the friction, to humanize the experience. The objective is to deploy AI-driven chatbots for pre-arrival questions and utilize mobile-first check-ins to completely automate the boring administrative and transactional friction. By doing that, you free up your remaining human capital so you can reallocate them to high-touch, relationship-building roles. That is how you actually justify a premium average daily rate.
Finally, let's hit Section 5, Quick Wins for Navigating 2026, focusing on high-impact actions for immediate relief.
If you need an immediate roadmap, here it is. Number 1, deploy contactless mobile check-in flows right now to relieve the pressure on your understaffed front desks. It's a high-impact move you can pull off in just 3 to 4 weeks. Number 2, do a ruthless tech audit. Cut those redundant software subscriptions to slash operational expenses. It's super low effort and takes maybe a week or 2. And number 3, launch a cross-training incentive program with immediate financial bonuses for staff willing to move to high-need departments. You can spin that up in just 2 weeks. In the short term, meaning the next 12 months, survival depends entirely on this level of labor optimization and aggressive cost control.
But as we look further ahead, say 1 to 3 years out, AI integration and unified data ecosystems are going to transition from just being nice to have competitive advantages into baseline operational requirements. And looking 3 to 5 years out, the stark reality is this. Legacy businesses that stubbornly choose to ignore AI integration and labor optimization are simply going to become unmanageable, and they will face severe asset devaluation.
So, the data is crystal clear. The path forward requires a fundamental shift in how we leverage both technology and human capital. Thank you so much for joining this explainer today. I want to leave you with this final critical question to chew on. Will you adapt your operations for the 2026 reality right now, or will you allow your assets to face severe devaluation tomorrow? The choice is entirely yours.